Real Sharks movie review. Okay, so the movie I'm going to be talking about, of course, is Deadpool and Wolverine. It actually topped 900 million so far at the global box office, 903 million to be exact, and it's still trending upwards here. Guys, I gotta say, I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I feel like
Wow.
this Deadpool movie was for people like me. I think it was for, actually, I'm going to say, dare I say, people like us. I felt like Ryan Reynolds not only delivered a really comedic and well-rounded kind of film, but it captured a lot of franchise lore and things that fans have known and critics like us have known, and almost in a very sad way. So, this, of course, director Sean Levy, writers Ryan Reynolds, Rate Reese, Paul Warnick, stars Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Emma Corrin. I mean, there's a lot of cameos in here, and I'm not going to read the cast
Ton.
because I want a lot of people to go see this movie because it was really good. But I am going to have some spoilers here in my audience, so some of it is going to be spoilers. So, what I really enjoyed about this movie, not only was the comedy right on cue. I mean, you had Ryan Reynolds doing Deadpool, and it was great. I mean, from the beginning, did you guys catch the movie yet?
Yeah.
I've seen it, yes.
So from the beginning, so okay, look, so we're gonna be on the same. I hope. Let's see if we're on the same page. So from the opening of the movie, I thought it was great. You had, we had the in sync moment and everything like that, which was hilarious. You had Ryan Reynolds at his most funniest, doing these very comedic acts, very great action scenes. Just like all the other movies, it was spectacular action. I was laughing pretty much the whole time. But when you got to the meat of what the story was which is about basically the Marvel multiverse that they have, which I'm not really a big fan of. I'm not the biggest Avengers guy. I'm not the biggest everyone should know that, whoever subscribes, listens to podcast. I'm not a big Marvel guy
He's not
because there is certain aspects of Marvel that they have left out that I always was disappointed in, and this movie kind of captured that. So I really enjoyed the plot of bringing, Wolverine to a new universe, and then Wolverine, of course, has to try. Deadpool is trying to basically save his universe. That's what it's about. It's about basically his Wolverine dying in his universe from Wolverine's movie, which was really good, by the way. I also seen that one. But then it's about basically him finding another Wolverine trying to replace it. But then there's a whole multiverse thing where they get trapped in basically what's equivalent to the Upside Down. Let's be honest here.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Which is equivalent to the Upside Down.
Thin air. Here's another one.
But when it got there is when I was the most intrigued. And here's the spoilers, because when they brought Blade, actually as Wesley Snipes,
fucking Blade,
I was absolutely
like,
stunned.
damn.
Not only did they bring Blade, they brought Jennifer Garner as Elektra. They brought Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Channing Tatum was Gambit, and we had talked about this prior.
Talked about it,
but it was more than that. The dialogue which was given to us was, I think, one of the more intriguing than anything I've ever seen in the Marvel universe, because I love how he was talking about, Blade says, "I never got to defend my universe." Because we never had an ending to Blade.
You never
had an ending to Blade. Blade ended at Blade 3. Pat Oswalt had a lot to do with the downturn of that movie. And the fact of the matter is that, unfortunately, I like Pat Oswalt, but, sometimes he really fucks shit up. And that was one of the things he really did, was he fucked up Blade 3 by not giving Wesley Snipes, in my opinion, the respect he needed to deserve, because Wesley Snipes was the man who carried that franchise. And obviously, he should probably see that now, because, as he said in the movie, there is only one Blade, and it is Wesley Snipes, and no one will ever debate that. Like, that will never, and arguably too, we've talked about this, without Blade, you would not have these movies today.
Yeah, he's we've said it. You said it, Rob. You said it in the other one. It's the trailblazing. He's the one that ushered in. Along with the original X-Men, they kind of were coming out in the early 2000s together. But like Blade was the more like grittier Marvel stuff than like X-Men was doing.
Jennifer Garner speaks about her franchise too. Gambit's is the best, because spoilers here, I'm a huge Gambit fan. That's one of the reasons I never got into X-Men, was because I was so kind of taken back by it. I was like, where's Gambit?
And then you see him and you're like,
part of X-Men. And the fact that Channing Tatum, his lines were, "I never even got the chance. I never even had a chance. And he's like, I'm gonna make a name for myself. And then I started thinking of Luke because Deadpool started making fun of his Cajun accent.
Yeah, that's
and I said that's exactly what Luke said. Like, are they gonna do that? Are they just gonna play into it? And they totally did.
I loved his accent too. It's just
the fact that I don't know if Thomas Jane didn't want to sign on, but the fact that Ray Stevenson is dead and that they said the Punisher died fighting, and also too, I don't know if Ben Affleck didn't want to reprise his role as Daredevil, but they said Daredevil died, and I thought that was a good, kind of indication of where those movies are in the franchise. Even Johnny Storm, the fact that he gets killed like that by Deadpool is funny because it's almost like Fantastic Four was a joke. And the Silver Surfer, they mentioned the Silver Surfer,
yes,
which is one of the biggest, comic characters of all time that Marvel never did anything with. And after the movie tanked, they never did anything with it. And it's like, of course he's dead. Silver Surfer would be dead because of that movie. He's dead.
He's just so dead. Which is funny. That's a good way to do it, Rob. I mean, like, if you're not gonna do anything with the character, just say he's dead. It doesn't even matter now.
So I thought there was a lot of good, pull tie-ins to like what the studios have done. Not to mention the chiming on Fox, how they basically were laughing and making fun of Fox's demise, how Disney owns Fox. I mean, they pretty much, in all essence, you're like the Fox Studios and Fox News Network always smashing on Disney. But Disney, I hate to tell you this, they pretty much told Fox, "You are our bitch" in that movie. Yeah. Like they had the Fox logo like completely in the dirt.
Yeah.
They were pretty much like Fox News, and I thought, well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does, you are our bitch. Like that's what it really was. And there was a lot of good, wall breakage, with Ryan Reynolds saying, when they start fighting, let's give the people what they paid for. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff. So I'm taking up the airtime. Luke, what did you think of Deadpool versus Wolverine? Right now though, let me just say it stands at a 8.1 in the rating, and that's about where I'd give it. I really enjoyed it. I actually liked it over the original Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Luke. Let me
of course, it's now the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. So ultimately, our opinions don't mean anything because the people have spoken. I'll start with what I liked. I liked the banter between Wolverine and Deadpool. This movie called Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what we got. I thought those two were really, really good together. Obviously, very funny. And all of the little bits, all of the callbacks, all the cameos, all of that was extremely fun. It was, again, having Wesley Snipes there, excellent. Having Channing Tatum as Gambit, excellent. Having, getting things like Pyro and the original Sabretooth from the X-Men there as well. All fun. Fight scenes between Deadpool and Wolverine, also super good. And again, I cannot, anything I say cannot also ignore the feelings I felt when Wolverine put the full uniform on.
That was amazing.
When he put when he put that, because I had forgotten that he was doing the full, because obviously the Wolverine costume is great. It's a great look. I'm furious now. I'm furious that it's taken us this long to get there. Obviously, Deadpool made a joke. It's it took us 20 fucking years.
Yeah, over 20 years, dude.
Yeah, as if people don't think these things are iconic. But that's beside the fact. So yeah, when the mask came out, I was like, oh my god. It was really it was so good. But I think there is the truth is a lot of that is propping up what is functionally an extremely weak, thin plot and story. It really is just a simple. Obviously, part of it is that this is a buddy comedy, and they're doing there's elements of a road trip movie, buddy road trip. But it is just we got to go to one thing to go to one thing to go to one. It's just let's get to the MacGuffin. Now we got to do another thing to get to the other MacGuffin. And the plot is not kind of weak, and the multiverse stuff starts to get just very vague and unclear. Cassandra Nova is not all that interesting as a villain, frankly, in the least. And so there is and so a lot of that is kind of not particularly great. So my fear, obviously, is that once again that they may take the wrong lessons from Deadpool, which I think they've done before, where when both Guardians and Deadpool came out, there was a sense that afterwards they're like, okay, people like these types of movies. What we need in them is to be a bit more like vulgar and raunchy and make more quips. And that's where we get something like the fucking Borderlands movie, apparently. I think that's where we go. So but I liked it. I'm never going to deny that I didn't like it. I'm not going to deny that I wasn't so happy this movie came out, that we got to see a fun, final movie with Hugh Jackman, which again I was a little bit like, I don't know about that, because Logan was a pretty good send-off. That's probably the best way you could have done it. But if you were going to bring him back, this was a good way to do it. But again, my only hesitation...
he said it perfectly. Disney's going to be making you do these movies to your 90.
To your 90, yeah, pretty much.
Fair play for them. But my only fear is that they're going to take the wrong things from the unprecedented, the overwhelming success of this movie, which is like, what we need is more cameos. We need more callbacks. We need, just on the cusp of, once again, people asking, like, are we dealing with superhero fatigue? Here comes a movie that does everything that invokes superhero fatigue, is super, it blows up. So it's like, I'm worried that they're going to say, what we need is more nostalgia. We need more callbacks. We need more this and that, which...
We need more in sync.
We need more... Well, I mean, I don't...
Yeah.
I will also say that I was more than a little, I guess...
The movie was too long, I'll tell you that. That's what I didn't like. It was long.
That's
my last point is I was also just a little bit shruggy at the end credit, because at the end there's a whole, the good.
Oh God, yes.
They played best. They played the good. They played the
times of your life, but Green Day.
This song, and there's all the clips of the Fox X-Men, and I just kind of felt that it just felt forced.
I agree there.
It felt like they were trying to be like, here's the send-off of the Fox shows. And if I'm going to be 100% honest, if I had to look back, as much as I watched those movies and enjoyed them as a child, as a youth, I was kind of just like, I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't really feel the warm fuzzies.
Right.
I know.
The first X-Men we saw when we were young, I was like, this kind of sucked. I like it because it's a superhero film, but it kind of sucked.
I liked the first X-Men movie. The second one was pretty good. The third one was garbage.
Last Stand was horrible. And after that, it was bad.
They started to get good again with First Class. I was like, oh, okay, we're back. And then of course what was it? Age of Apocalypse sucked shit.
Yeah.
Then Days of Future Past got kind of good again. And then it was a mixed bag. And then of course there's the Silver Surfer. And then I'm happy for Jennifer Garner that she got a little bit of respect from that role. But
Elektra sucked.
Well, why though? Who cared about that? It's just like, what?
Absolutely, who gives a fuck?
Right. Absolutely.
You know what it would have been? I thought when I was looking at this, Luke, I would have thought okay, she's there. Yeah. How cool would it have been if Michael Clark Duncan was alive and he came as Mr. Big?
I wish Ray Stevenson was in there as the Punisher.
The Punisher. See what I mean? I know you said the Thomas Jane thing, but I was just thinking go all the way. Obviously you can't. Yeah. But I completely agree with both you guys. I'm like, what, as much as I was happy, I guess, for seeing it, I was just happy seeing it. But I'm also scared, the Fantastic Four First Steps movies coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's see if they screw that up again.
For a fourth time? That would be so funny. I don't want to root for anything
Fantastic Four bad movies.
The 4 bad movies. Can they screw this up a fourth time? If they do, leave it alone. You know what I mean?
So what's our rating for it? I'm gonna give it where it stands. I'm gonna give it an 8. What about you, Steve?
I'll give it an 8.
Luke?
Give it an 8.
This was a 7 when I saw it, but if I saw it again, it would probably jump down to a 6.
Interesting.
Because again, it's fine, it's serviceable, and I'm sure a lot of the jokes. But if you are, if you're Gen Alpha like me, you've already seen it again on TikTok. Every time you've seen all the good parts again on TikTok. So,
okay, fair enough, Gen Alpha.
Doesn't he say that? I'm pretty sure Deadpool calls himself Gen Alpha.
The dog too was hilarious. I just want to give a shout out to that dog.
Ugly dog. Yeah.
Yes, that was hilarious.
Who was Nice Pool? The Nice Pool was great.
Yeah, that was funny.
Nice Pool, and let me see. Trying to remember because there were some secret cameos with Deadpool.
Oh, there was a lot. Too much to get to here.
Oh, sure.